Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. And in this video, we're going to show you how to do an upper control arm bushing and a 9904 Jeep Grand Cherokee. So we have my buddy Steve in the background. He's setting the truck up on the left so we can get some great footage for you guys to show you what's going on and what to look for. So what happened was, Steve's more of a Bronco guy. He's not used to Jeeps like I am. So he was going down the road, hit a pothole, and the front end of the Jeep was going all over the place. He almost pooped his pants. That's why his shirt's brown. So, but we already redid the whole front end of this truck. We had upon inspection, the control arm bushings are shot in the thing. So we're going to walk you through the process, show you what's involved. Before we get into that, remember if you like the video, give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions, you have a comment, I'll reply back to you. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel. There's a lot of great stuff, content coming out. Let's get rolling on this.
All right, so I'm here with Tony, and we are checking the front end on the Jeep. And all the front end parts have been changed. The piston has been changed. The stabilizer bar here has been changed. The track bar has been changed. New shocks, new links, and we still have a shake in the front end, a severe shake. The ball joints are all tight. So what we found is this has upper control arm bushings connected to the front axle here, and we come around the back side. We're going to show you guys how to look for this. We have the front end loaded so it's pushing up, so it's not just hanging. And we noticed that when you look at the bushing up here, the space, you're going to see how much more this one is sagged down than this one, and this is what's giving us our vibration issue. So if you come around this side and we look at it, you look at the space that you have here on this bushing where the screwdriver tip is, it's minimal. Now look at the space that you have over here. Look how much is showing. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this bolt out. It's a T50 Torx with a 15mm wrench on the other side, and we're going to push the control arm out, and we're going to change this bushing, and we're also going to change this bushing while we're in at it. And that should take care of our, as Tony calls it, the death wobble that Jeeps get. Out, it's going to spring up. Yeah, it's going to spring up. Want to spring up. All right, so we're going to use an air chisel with an exhaust pipe tip on it. And we're going to get in there, press the hammer on the inside lip of this thing, and it should press right out. In a perfect world.
Twang.
Well, where we are now, we're going to do the other side, the passenger side. When we get the chip, we get the chisel in there. We're right on the edge of the bushing. And we're going to try and zap this thing and get this one to press out as easy as the other one did.
So as you can see, you might have to mess around and attack that bushing from the front and the rear. You kind of worm it out of that control arm.
So we're going to load everything up with Never-Seez. Big proponent of it, always use it. You could be the next guy going back in there, take this thing apart. So we're going to get it on our bracket in here. It's going to help make our new bushings go in a lot easier. We're also going to put it on the outside of the bushing as well to help it slide in. So,
Good.
so we notice coming out, this thing has a taper on it, so it's thicker right here than here. So it almost looked like it wasn't pressed in enough, but it is. So when we put this in the housing, we don't have to press this in all that much. We only have to go this short distance right here. So when we put this in, it's almost there. So we can tap this thing in, you can't really get in there with a hammer. So we're gonna probably try and press it in. We're gonna tap it a little with a hammer and see how far it goes. It's pretty much there. We're gonna press it in a little more. And this one presses in. This one's pretty much there. Doesn't go in much farther than that.
So it's gonna go as far as that seated point, that tapered edge that we were showing a minute ago.
Yep. Okay. All right. So we have our typical ball joint press set up in here on the bushing. I think we banged it in far enough, but we want to just make sure. So we set the press up here so that this thing should press the thing in if it's going to go in anymore. Tony's going to watch this edge right here to see if this moves in anymore while I'm tightening it up. You ready?
Yep.
That's about it. Did it move?
Not really.
Yeah, so we were pretty close with just banging it in. It's nice and tight in here. Fortunately, our bolts holes on the arm do not elongate. These arms are pretty inexpensive. We've seen them online anywhere between 22 and 45 bucks. But these bushings seem tight on these here, so I think we're gonna be okay just changing these out. You know, we're gonna have to roll this axle in to get these to tighten up. So we'll pull down on the drive shaft after, and that'll roll the rear end up after we get the other one in there so we can get the bolts in. And that should take care of that. So we're gonna press this one in now, and then we'll get set up for that one as well. And we'll see if we can bang it in and how far it goes, and we may be able to just get away with that. If not, we'll use the press to make sure that, you know, they're tight like they are. So this one came in and it was flush to the flange over here, right here. So this one is going to have to go in the same way and be flush. And we're going to see how far we can tap it in with the hammer. Boy, it ain't getting much sweeter than that. Let's see. Is it late?
Yep.
All right, we got to get some more with the flange here. It's got to go in a little more. It's getting a little bouncy, so I'm going to try and get something that fits on the outside of the metal to just hit the metal instead of hitting the center. And let's see what we got in our kit for that. So we found an old wheel bearing center from one of my Fords, and it fits right over the bearing. So it's hitting the metal part. So we want to use this to just hit the metal part to tap this thing so it bottoms out. Just about there. See with the light.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Just about there. It's got to be flat. We can't have any space in between the flange. The way the other one was, it was pretty much flat. So we're almost there. I don't want to have to use the ball joint press if I don't have to. So I'm going to try and smack this thing a little more. See if we can get it to be flush. Over there on the bottom, gonna work this top in a little bit more. Fortunately, it's loaded with never seeds, so we're just gonna work the top in a little bit more. It looks like the bottom is pretty close. So we're trying to hit 12 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 9 o'clock to make sure it's even going into this thing. I think we're good. Pretty tight up in here. Tight on the bottom. Tight on the back side. We'll give it a couple more swings just for the hell of it, and then we're going to rotate the axle up so that we can get these bolts in here, and hopefully that's going to take care of it. Alright, so this gets a little tricky here. We're trying to get our arm back in. We have our axle loaded, and because the springs are trying to push down and twist the axle, so we have some load on the axle right now with the jack stands, and we're going to use a punch. We're going to pull the thing down, and we're going to get the bolt comes from the other side in like this. So we've already never seized our bolt. We're going to get this punch started, and we're going to pull it down. And what I did was I put a bar in between the drive shaft and the frame on the side over here, and I'm trying to, now I got it in, now I'm going to be able to dictate to pull that bolt in. Now my bolt is all lubed, of course, with never sees. And we're going to try and use this side here to align our axle up here with the bolt. So we'll get it going. Once we get it going to a certain point, we can run it in with the air ratchet, and that's what we're going to do right now. Alright, there it goes. Now you can put our nut on and tighten it up. Now we're going to put the nut on, but we're not going to tighten anything until we get the other side caught, and then we'll tighten everything together. So I just want to catch the nut for now, and then we'll get set up for this side, see what we can do. This bolt seems to be pretty elusive to get in. So what we did was we backed off on the suspension to let it hang. We disconnected the track bar here. So we took the one bolt out for the track bar right here, and we disconnected the sway bar links so that would help us. And I was able to get this small bar into this side to get it started, and then I took the long bar in here to get the hole lined up. Now this side of the hole is lined up nice. So I should be able to run this bolt down and it'll push my bar out.
And what a pain in the you-know-what this one's to line up.
Yeah. So we're gonna run it in with the ratchet. A little tap here. All right.
Let's make some noise.
Yeah. Put the light over here. We can see where we are.
Sure.
I can't see it though. Okay. So we still got to get that to come over, pry over some more. And we're going to try and run it in with the ratchet and see if it works for us. And we can also try and put a little tension on this axle with the bar in between here. Just trying to twist it up just a little bit to get it to go. While we're trying to run this in. Alright, let's see.
Let's give it a rip. down one ratchet.
Alright, so this bolt was kind of a pain in the butt, so we got it in on the first side here. We took the track bar off, we took the stabilizer links off, and we still have weight on the axle, so it's still pushing up. Now what we found, we took the water pump pliers and we grabbed the head of the bolt so that we could twist and use this for leverage to pull it forward. And as we did that, it snapped over into place over here.
This bolt was a huge pain in the you-know-what.
So we got both nuts on and bolts in. We're gonna tighten those up now. Unfortunately, my Cornwall ratchet went to the wayside. I'm gonna have to have that rebuilt. So we're gonna put this all back together now. Just tighten these up here. So that's tight. Yeah, that's tight. And this one here, we use the hand ratchet on to get in here for this one. So I can tighten this one up. I would have used my air ratchet, but that's all right. All right, that's nice and tight. We're going to use the impact gun to get our track bar back in place. I'm going to have to pull this over as well, and we'll get set up for that. All right, so we need 4 arms to put this foolish bolt in. So we pry it over on the arm over here, and Tony held up the bar, and we get the bolt started. We're going to tighten this up.
We were going to tell you guys, oh, look how easy it goes in, just like those hot rod TV shows. But we decided to tell you the real deal, right, Steve?
Yeah. Links back in. I'm going to tighten these up. Put this last link back in here. Get an alignment bar. Just tap that in. Of course, it doesn't line up like everything else has gone tonight. All right.
Hey, at least the hammer doesn't blow by.
Yeah, right, huh?
It could be worse.
Okay, so we got a sway bar links back on both sides. The track bar's back in. We got our new bushings in and tight. New one in and tight. We're gonna let this thing down and take it for a blast. We're hoping it still doesn't have the, what, Tony?
That's the wobble.